Well, hello, lovely people. Welcome to today's pick a card reading. Today, the setup is kind of weird looking because I am in Berlin for a couple of days for the AC/DC concert. But tarot never sleeps, so I thought it would still be the perfect opportunity for a tarot video. So today we are doing a video on what your next glow up is and what steps you need to take to get there. So this is what this is gonna be. As you can see, there are again three rings to choose from. This little guy over here, Lexxi the fox in the middle, and the huge guy to the right. So pick the one you feel the most drawn to and go to the timestamp that's for your pile. Also, if anyone out there is interested in posing a short question or something, I thought it would be cool if you guys have some kind of question that I can make you a short video or something as a response. That way I train my skills and you get like a short response or something. So if interested, leave me a comment down below, or if you want to see some kind of reading, and let's get into this. Hello, pile one. If you chose this little ring guy over here, then this is your part of the reading. So let's get into your cards. I pulled a Celtic cross today because I think it would be helpful to explore all the steps of this next glow up you are on the road to. So let's get into it. Now, overall energy I'm getting just based on the cards, I feel like what this next glow up will awaken in you is creativity and showing yourself more to the world. So whether this has to do specific with some kind of creative project, it's a completely different thing. It doesn't matter, but I think it will, at the core of it, have to do with you leaving behind fears about showing a specific part of yourself to the world. Maybe a part that in the past, like you had a part where you have trouble expressing it because there was some kind of issue surrounding it in the past. That's why I'm saying it could be, for instance, connected with a creative project, for instance, because you know, sometimes when we, for instance, fail at doing something the first time, then we get really self-conscious about it and we start worrying about putting that thing out there. And again, whether that thing is a real thing or it is just a part of yourself, a part of your character, it doesn't really matter. So let's get into the cards one by one, so I'm not just saying to you whatever general thing comes to my mind. So the first card that came up for you down here is the reversed Six of Cups. And the reversed Six of Cups energy, this is the energy of your current situation. So the situation you are currently in is that you seem to be stuck in some kind of past moment. Like the Six of Cups card is the card of reminiscing of the past. Like you can see how the guy with his dog is thinking about the good old times when he and the dog were both small and they had a lovely, jolly life. But you know, this time is gone. And because the card came up in the reverse position, it seems that you are somehow unhealthily stuck in that energy of reminiscing about something that happened, or it could be maybe even not something that happened, but just something that you wish had happened differently, either or, whichever way you see it. And with this current situation, again, because it is reversed, it does speak about you needing to leave that energy, like you need to let go of that nostalgia you have going on and start moving into the present moment. So the second card you got is the Nine of Pentacles. And the Nine of Pentacles came up in the challenge position of the spread. Now with Nine of Pentacles, this could signify a couple of different things. On the one hand, it has to do with you enjoying the fruits of your labor. So you might be struggling with doing that right now. Maybe, for instance, like I said, you could be hyper-focused on a part of your life or a part of your past that hadn't worked out for whatever reason, and it is keeping you stuck and unable to enjoy other parts of your life that you are succeeding in right now. It could be also the challenge in the sense of missing that feeling of acknowledging that you have the skills to do things. Like it could be a sort of a self-esteem issue, the challenge here. So maybe you are again because you are stuck on thinking about something that didn't work out or that you had hoped would work out better, that you are not seeing that you have actually been able to succeed in different areas. So this is what the challenge represents for you. Like I said, it seems to be a self-esteem type of issue. Now, there could be also a part of this that has to do with you being too independent, I guess, like too not self-focused, but to a self-sufficient. Yes, maybe there is a part of this where you are being a bit too self-sufficient, and you might need to also employ the help of other people along your journey of self-growth. And we're gonna get into that in a while as well. Then the next card that came up for you as part of the spread is what you need to focus on, or depending on like different spreads, how people interpret them. It could also be like some kind of subconscious influence you have. I personally see it more in the first type, like what you need to focus on. And with the star card is a really positive card. Like the star card is like optimism, positivity, like wishing on a lucky star. So I feel like what you have to do, and maybe what also you have somewhere in the back of your mind, you just need to pull it out of yourself so it has more bearing on your cognition, is that deep down, like you have a sense of optimism, and there is a belief that there's a golden thread for you somewhere out there that would pull you out of this energy. You just need to believe a little more in it. Like you can literally see the lady on the card, how she seems to be praying to the star, but also like she is not helpless in this situation. Like she has the thread in her hands to pull herself up or to pull the star towards her. Like it's not a pipe dream, so to say. It is achievable, but like I said, it just needs a little bit of optimism on the one hand, and also there will be some concrete work to do on the other hand. Now, moving on to the next card, the past influence for you came up the Magician in the reverse position. And you know that the Magician is the master manifester. Like he has the skills, the knowledge, the everything to get things going and to build for him what he needs. But because the energy came up reversed for you, it is showing that that energy got stuck somewhere. So again, like with the reversed Six of Cups energy from the beginning, it seems that in the past there was some kind of missed opportunity or failed opportunity, just something that didn't work out great. And that led to this lack of self-confidence in your abilities. There might have also been another level of the issue, for instance, of not being super focused, or not been prepared, not having the plan in order to pull your weight to the finish line. But either way, like we said, this is in the past, So it is kind of whatever happened, happened. Now the question is, how do we move forward? And moving on to the next card, so the strengths in your situation card. For you came up the reversed again. High Priestess. Yes, High Priestess. And with the High Priestess, her strength lies in the fact that she is really intuitive, and she has let's say outer-worldly knowledge based on her intuition and based on her knowing specific secrets about things. So I feel like this is a strength you have also within you, but maybe this shaking up in your confidence is what made you sort of get into the reversed energy of this. So it's not something that is ripe for the taking, so to say. Like, it is a bit stuck, but it is there. You just have to start trusting that intuition and that sense of direction within yourself that would lead you out of this situation. Like, there's an inherent inner wisdom, but you are still experiencing some issues accessing that wisdom. So maybe it would be helpful for you to do something that works specifically with the High Priestess energy. Like, it could be something connected to water, some kind of water ritual, or like even just taking a bath, meditating with some good music or whatever speaks to you, just so you can get back in touch with that energy. For instance, yesterday I was not feeling in the best mood, and I saw a video about neurography, I think it's called. It's actually, I draw that picture in the right hand side of the screen, and I don't know, I feel like it emotionally really helped me out. Not necessarily saying that it did anything in the 3D, I don't know. There's no problem in hoping, I guess, but it just, I feel like, released some kind of burden from the inside. So maybe this is something that you can try as well. Moving on to the next card, which would be, I think it's the future position. Let me just check. Yes, it is the near future position. So the near future position for you is the Page of Cups. Now, this Page of Cups could be your energy, or it could be also another person, because court cards can also signify another person coming into our lives. And this has to do with newfound creativity and ideas. Like, you can see how the guy is sitting there and he is thinking about some crazy type of flying pigs ideas. But there is also in the background, I don't know how well you can focus. Come on. There you go. You can see those ghostly hands, let's say, that like speak of cooperation with somebody else. So maybe something that is in the future influence for you would have to do with somebody coming in and brainstorming with you a specific idea regarding this situation, this project you have going on, or just in general. You know how sometimes we meet people and they can say something to us and that will just click and it will kind of change, well, not the course of our lives necessarily, but yeah, kind of that direction. And if it is another person, maybe this will be a person that you would have like this growth and creative endeavor with. If not, it could be just your energy, again, like coming from within. The next card that came up for you is the Advice card. Or it could be also like your attitude, like either way. What came up for you is the Death card. So with the Death card, there is again this, what's the word I'm looking for? This emphasis, yes, emphasis that there is some kind of transformation needing to happen. Of course, it makes sense. Like, if we are talking about changing, improving, glowing up, there will always be some kind of change of attitude, change of perspective that needs to happen, like basically something dying out and making room for something better and lighter to come into our lives. So the advice is, again, you will need to let go of something, let something die, whether it is your ego that got bruised in the past, and saying to yourself, okay, like, doesn't matter, for instance, what people say, I'm gonna continue doing the thing that I want to do. Whatever it was, whatever it might have been, you will need to accept that it happened, and you need to which reminds me of something like, you know, that thing that people speak about, the radical acceptance. I have personally never understood it, but maybe it will be something that talks to you. But it's basically just the idea that you can't change what has already happened, and you just need to move forward. You need to accept it and move on. This will make you lighter, and it will help you to embrace that final energy that has been showing itself as coming up for you, that energy of showing yourself and not being afraid of being the star, I guess, being the fiery energy. Like the Wands energy is always like the performer energy, the king of the jungle energy, like, you know, the fire sign energy. Then we have in the next position the reversed Lovers card, and this is in your environment position, or also like external influence of people, like general environment. And with the Lovers card coming up reversed, it could be speaking about some kind of breakdown in communication. So there it could be that you are already experiencing this, that you have some kind of disconnect with a certain person or certain people around you that might not, you might have misaligning values regarding this thing that you are working on as part of yourself right now, and this could be leading to the communication break. The Lovers card, like, generally, on the one hand, it can signify specifically a relationship, but it just could speak about our values. So definitely I feel like if you're not experiencing it right now, you will start to see it when you go down the road of this glow up that you are going after. There will be somebody around you that is not going to be on the same page as you. And this might, it will cause disharmony, of course, and might shake up things a little bit about you, make you wonder whether you are pursuing the right track. This is just an issue of you needing to continue listening to your inner voice and not getting shaken up by every gush of wind that comes your way, basically. So definitely be on the lookout for that type of misalignment, and don't let it push you too far away or discourage you from pursuing this. Sorry. Then the next card that came up for you, the card that has to do with hopes and fears, is the Page of Wands energy. The Page of Wands, it's like, again, I really love Wands energy and generally fire energy. It is really inspiring. Like, I feel like what you are hoping for, and maybe also fearing subconsciously, even maybe at the same time, is this expansiveness, creativity, like, oh, even going on an adventure, like feeling free. Let me show you the card. Like, you can see on the card how free her energy feels. Like, she is dancing in the middle of the desert. She is enjoying her life. She has let her hair down. This feeling is something that you are also pursuing, and maybe you also have some kind of blockage surrounding it and you are afraid to experience it fully. But this is what you need to move towards, and this is what your soul is craving. Also, there might be this fear of the uncertainty of where things are going. You know, when we take risks, of course, we are going to be afraid of what is going to happen because it is a new road. We don't know what the potential pitfalls are, but we also like that saying we have about insanity. Like insanity is doing the same thing, expecting different results. You need to get on that road of doing something new in order to get a new result, in order to achieve a new price. And like I said, this is what your soul is craving as well. So be prepared, Pile 1. There's no two ways about it. You're gonna have to take the leap. And the last card you got is the reversed King of Wands. I would say he probably came up in the reversed position because, again, you are still on that journey of going to that fiery energy. And it's just like a confirmation for me that the energy is still stuck, like it's still not flowing. You are still on the road of doing it. But I would say that you have all the potential for getting there. You have the potential to build that sense of self-esteem in yourself. You have the potential to put yourself out there, like you see even in this card with the king, how in the back of the card we see the lion. Like I said, this is again fiery energy, like you can be that top dog, that king of the jungle. You have the potential to get there, like you can achieve it. You just need a little bit more work. And it seems like I said you have some kind of vision that you're thinking about it and that you're trying to pursue. You just need to maintain that sense of direction and of putting that energy out there, basically. So again, especially if it's some kind of creative energy, like creative, it could be also business. It doesn't have to be like painting or music or whatever, but just if there is some kind of idea you want to birth into the world, this will be what you will be pursuing and what you have to pursue to basically land on the next step of your growth journey. Okay? Maybe one last thing, just with the king coming up in the reversed position as a sort of advice, is to remember that there is also the double-edged sword of in doing this pursuit to control, to not become too aggressive or too domineering to the people around you, and also be wary of impulsiveness, because even in the beginning of the reading we saw that somewhere in the past surrounding this energy there was potentially the factor of you missing out on planning something thoroughly or carrying something out thoroughly. The idea is, in order to not delay this step even more, be somewhat cautious about impulsiveness, like avoid it. Try to, of course, like I said, put yourself out there, like use that optimism and forward movement, but just don't keep it in a balanced way, so to say. Okay, Pile 1, this is what I have for you. I hope it was helpful. Hello, Pile 2. If you chose Lexxi the fox over here, then this is your part of the reading. So let's get into it. What is your next glow up and what you need to do in order to get there? So I will probably show you the cards one by one because, like I said, today the setup is not amazing. So let's start off with your current situation over here, being the reversed Nine of Pentacles. So the reversed Nine of Pentacles has to do with workaholic energy. Like this card is the card of achievement and doing things, manifesting things. You know, Pentacles energy has to do with the material realm, but because it came up in the reversed position for you, there is some kind of excess in this energy. And it's really giving me the vibe of you being really hyper focused in your material reality, and this manifesting as some kind of workaholism for you. I don't know if you're maybe trying to escape some other part of your life, and that's why you are throwing yourself so deeply into your work, or you're trying to compensate some kind of Minderwertigkeitsgefühl, some kind of feeling that you are not enough through this work, or maybe you feel like you are not doing enough and you're kind of running yourself into the ground, trying to work even more. Whatever the exact psychological situation is for you, you need to move out of that workaholism energy. There is some kind of imbalance there. And this leads me to the second card that came up for you, which is the Judgment card. Now, the Judgment card has to do with some kind of us hearing some kind of calling. I don't know if you have seen the original Rider-Waite Tarot, but there is this angel up in the sky, and it is calling basically the people rising from the dead and listening to its song. I feel like there is some kind of voice inside of you that's telling you that something is wrong in this situation. You are just still not there to fully be listening to it. Now, if you are watching tarot readings, you are not too far off from hearing that calling. Like, you know, our psyche always whispers to us, and like we know it's there. Sometimes we just try to ignore it, but deep down we know that the calling is there. And I feel like this is your situation also, but you are still not it came up in the challenge position, like you are still not at the place where you are fully embracing that need for a change. And that need for a change, I feel like the symptom, the symptom that's showing up in your life as part of that is that workaholic energy. That's the imbalance here. The next card you got in the need to focus on position, which is this one right here, is the Lovers reversed. Now with the Lovers reversed card, pile 1 got the same card. It speaks about some kind of value misalignment. Now this could also have to do with another person and with a relationship in your life, where the value misalignment might be between the two of you. For instance, let's say in the most basic case, it could be literally that you are, for instance, in a relationship with somebody and this relationship isn't going perfectly because, for instance, again, you are the workaholic in the relationship that is pulling really tightly in that direction, and the person next to you, for instance, is feeling ignored, left behind, like left out in the cold. This could be the most literal translation of the cards so far. It could be also something else. It could be that this pursuit that you have in your career or material life is just overall clashing with the people around you, and you might be feeling misunderstood. Or again, because of the inner calling card, maybe those are the two sides of you that are clashing, where one side is pulling you in this direction of we need to do this work, we need to continue, like we need to fight, we need to whatever. And the other side of you, though, is feeling this strain, and it is basically asking itself, is this what I really want to do? Or is this some kind of outer conditioning? Like, is this really, are these really the values I have in my life? Or is there something wrong? So again, like I said, it could be other people that are relaying this information to you as well, or it could be your inner side speaking to you, like as they say, as below, so above. So whatever happens within us could also be mirrored from other people in our life. Then the next card that came up for you is the reversed Five of Cups. The reversed Five of Cups came up in the past situation, or also something that you are slowly leaving behind. And the Five of Cups is the card of some kind of disappointment. Like, it is the card where you are looking at the spilled cups in front of you. So basically something that didn't work out, something that failed. And you are missing to see that there are other cups right there waiting for your picking. Like, even in this card, you can see, it's even in my focus, I think. She is looking at the abyss where all her efforts are draining into, and she is longing for something, but she is totally missing some kind of opportunity behind herself. So this is an energy you also have, and maybe you are aware already of it and are starting to leave it behind, but it's also possible that you're still stuck there. The next card that came up for you in the strength you have in this situation is a really positive card. It is the Six of Wands. And the Six of Wands is a card of being noticed by people, like being the star of the show, being somebody highly regarded, highly thought of, just somebody that people notice. And it also brings a happy sense, so to say. Like, the person in the card is fulfilled, feels like they have achieved something, like it is a positive card. So I feel like a strength you have in this situation is to inspire other people in some way. Like, you might seem like a role model to people. It could be even because of your pursuits in the material realm. Like, people see you as a positive influence, they look up to you, and this is something that you can use to your advantage. And this is also something that you should realize within yourself. Like, I don't know if with the reversed Nine of Pentacles that came up for you in the first position, again, there might be a side to this where you are feeling somehow unworthy or dissatisfied with yourself. I feel like this is something that you need to spin around and use confidence as your as an asset on your side, because like you are admirable to the people around you. It's just a matter of whether you are seeing it yourself. And another strength that I feel you have present in your life with this card is optimism. Like, it is, even if it's not super obvious, even if it's not the first emotion that comes to your mind, you have somewhere in you hidden this feeling that you can be successful and that you will achieve the whatever thing you are going towards. And like I said, this is a strength you can totally be using pile 2. So this is as to the strengths position. So yeah, basically I feel like, yeah, a part of your strength will have to do with you being cheered on regarding success in your life, like you being celebrated for some kind of achievement and having that validation and acknowledgement from other people. Now, the next card that came up for you, which is in the near future position, this would be the Knight of Wands card over here. So, sorry about that. Like I said, the card that came up in the near future position for you is the Knight of Wands. And with the Knight of Wands, I feel like the way you are moving through this energy up till this point, like when you manage to leave that spilled milk situation in the past, you will unlock that energy and spark to start pursuing some kind of goal really fearlessly. Like Wands energy, you know, it is fire energy. You can see, I hope you can see the horse in the back, like how energetic he is. And like you can also see the lady, like she can snap her fingers and light a fire around her and light up everyone with her energy. This is also something that's coming into your life, again, because the court cards are other people, potentially, like with pile 1. They got a fire card in the same position. It could be another person coming into your life and helping you ignite that fire. If not, it could be just organically from within yourself. But the idea is that there is the potential of this spark of energy in your near future. Once you start to a little bit get out of the issues that you have had up to this point that we discussed, there will be this recharging of fire within you. Like there will be enthusiasm reborn. Maybe you'll also get an idea for a new approach to a certain thing, for instance, to this project that left you disappointed in the past, or just generally you might unlock some kind of new view of your life. And like with this new view, you will just feel recharged. Now, the next card that came up for you, which is the position of advice, is, you can see it over here, it is the reversed Ace of Cups position. With the reversed Ace of Cups, I feel like advice that you need to hear regarding this whole situation is that you need to take some time to clear some kind of blockage in your emotional state. Like with your energy up till this point, this focus on, let's say, work with the Pentacles and achievement maybe with the Wands, I feel like you might be pushing down your emotions somehow. And if this is something that you are doing, you should consciously strive to do the opposite. You should consciously strive to maybe kind of let those pushed down emotions take over you a little bit. Like if you need to shout regarding something, shout. If you need to cry, cry. The idea is that if your emotions are blocked, your creative flow will also experience a blockage. And this is not what you need. Like this will make things slower, or let's say less enjoyable for you in this case. So there is some kind of emphasis about needing to work on the emotions and like not withdrawing from them, like not pushing them down, like not being, let's say, a typical earth sign where you just ignore and continue business as usual. Like there is some kind of need to work with the emotional sphere. Now, the next card that came up for you, which is the position of, let me just see, it is the environmental position, exactly. The environmental position for you came up the Four of Wands. So I feel like your environment can already be this, or it will change once you start going down this road. This is a card of celebration, and especially it could have to do with celebration within a close circle, for instance, within your family, within your small group of friends. Like it's not the celebration of the Six of Wands, where it is basically the whole world watching. This has to do more with private celebration. But it is letting me know that starting to walk down this road will lead, it will also fix the thing that we were talking about right here with the Lovers card, where there might be some kind of strife and you feeling misunderstood by people. Once you work on the things up till this point, there the energy will just become lighter. Like you yourself will feel lighter, like the environment around you will feel lighter, and you will feel again reconnected within your community. Like there will be a time of celebration of your achievement and growth up to this point, and like you will feel supported above all else. This is a card of having a supportive environment around you and like achieving some kind of huge milestone. Okay, getting into the last two cards that came up for you. Firstly, we have the card representing hopes and fears. And for you, the card that came up is the Tower card. And you know, the Tower card can be a bit scary, so I guess it makes sense for it to come into this position. It has to do with disruption and substantial change in life. So, you know, our hopes and our fears are always connected, and this is no exception for you. I feel like you absolutely feel this huge need for a change to happen, but again, you are afraid of it. You are afraid that it will take you out of your comfort zone. You are afraid that it will disrupt your life somehow irreversibly. But the Tower is just something that if you have something built on unstable foundations, it has to come down so something better can spring up in its place. And this is deep down your understanding of things as well. You just still need a little bit of a nudge in order to pass that threshold of fear and to embrace that energy of maybe destructive, but it is still needed change. So I can feel that there is this need inside of you and desire for growth and for transformation, despite this fear that you might be experiencing of not knowing what exactly will happen and how things exactly will change. Just pile to trust that every change we have is for the better. And regarding the last card that came up, which is the outcome in the sense of this glow up and transformation, for you is the Hierophant card. Now, with the Hierophant card, there could be a part of this that has to do with another person not importing, but I can't think of the right word. There is the sense that there might be another person that imports this guidance upon you and this learning. I feel like a big part of you knowing that you have achieved this glow up will have to do with you feeling somehow traditionally a part of some kind of community. There might also be this feeling of, again, enlightenment at the end of it, but also a big part of it, I feel, will have to do with you feeling connected to a particular community. Now, I don't know what this community necessarily would be, because the Hierophant card can speak about something connected to spirituality. It could also be religion if this is something you are into, like it could be even some kind of institution. But I feel like the last step of your glow up will have to do with you reconnecting with a certain group of people. And this makes sense to me also because the start of your reading started off kind of at the other side of this emotion, where you might be disconnected, too focused on achievement or on material things. and also maybe feeling some kind of disappointment in the past, whether it was with a relationship or with something else. But there has along the way always been this sense of people looking up to you, admiring you. So even, I guess, you could be the Hierophant in this situation. It doesn't have to be somebody else that comes into your life and imports guidance. You could be the Hierophant that's importing guidance on the lives of others, those other people that are admiring you and that you have the strength to influence, and the people that look up to you. So, like I said, this will be the last step of your glow up, like finding that community, finding those values also, because the Hierophant speaks about values as well. It is actually, yes, this is the 5th card in the tarot, the Lovers are the 6th card. So both can represent certain values that and wisdom that we bring to life and to the people around us. And you could be acting as that mentoring energy to people once you find that sense of belonging within yourself and within this respective group that the energy can be representing. So definitely this last step will again connected with the Lovers card and the Judgment card. It will have something to do with the alignment of values. And it will, at the end of the day, you can see how happy the guy in the card is, how free his energy feels. I think this is the place that you will find yourself as well, pile 3. Pile 2, sorry. Okay, pile 2, I hope that this was helpful. Hello, pile 3. If you chose this ring over here, then this is your part of the reading. Let's get into your cards. I feel like they're super interesting just because out of all 3 piles, this energy here is giving me the biggest feeling of like profound change, I guess. Like a really profound tower moment. And actually the first card that came up for you is the tower. So let's get into your cards. Like, unlike with the other piles, I am not necessarily seeing this as one specific area of your life, but more like diffuse energy which will be felt everywhere, so to say. So let's get into it. Like I said, the first card that came up for you is the Tower card, and this is the position of your current situation. So it seems that you are going through some kind of major upheaval, like there is some kind of major change happening in your life. You know how the story of the tower is that it was built on some kind of shaky foundation, and one day it just comes the time for it to crumble. And this is the time you are experiencing right now. So something in your life, maybe something that has to do with your mindset, because I again feel like this reading is mostly mindset related, and like I said, also somewhere else, you know, as below, so above. Whatever happens within us happens outside of us as well, and it reflects our inner world and sort of brings us to finally also undertake that change from within. So I feel like this is what's happening to you now. Whether this tarot card, whether this tower card is manifesting itself in your material world, whether there is something really falling apart for you, like a job, a relationship, a specific dream, like I don't know. Again, it could be mental, you just going through some kind of profound change. But this is something that is you can't escape from at this point, like it needs to happen. And the second card that came up for you is the reversed 9 of Wands energy. And this is the challenge position in the Celtic cross. And what it is talking about is that you are indeed feeling super overwhelmed and exhausted, and like maybe feel like close to your breaking point, like you have had more than enough and you can't wait for it to be over. Now this card can also speak about something else, which is you might have built really big walls and fences around of yourself. Like you can see how she is standing behind the wands, like a fence that's supposed to protect her. But the negative part here is that you might be not allowing other people to come in and help you. And part of this might be because you're afraid of those people hurting you, especially if this tower moment has somehow to do with other people and things that they have done in your life and in this situation that's crumbling. But I am seeing this as an additional blockage. Like you not letting people in is only making this situation of you feeling overwhelmed and secluded even worse. The next card that came up for you, this one over here, it could be interpreted as both like something you need to focus on or a subconscious influence in this change. And it is the reversed Six of Swords. And the Six of Swords is, again, something that's really heavy emphasized in your reading. This need to move on from some kind of issue and experience profound change. Because it came up in the reverse position, it is showing that you are still quite resistant to this change and you are still clinging really tightly to the past. Like you are bringing some kind of emotional baggage with you along the way, and like the boat is not big enough for all of your baggage. Like you have to throw it overboard. If not, it is just going to sink and things are gonna be much more difficult if you need to swim in those waters on your own than if you have a boat. So this is the moment when you are asked, in order to progress forward, you need to let go of some kind of emotional baggage in the situation. And the next card that came up for you in the recent past or the leaving behind energy is the Three of Wands card, again in the reversed position, which can be speaking about you in the past having experienced some kind of procrastination regarding something, like being on the fence about something and basically never starting it. Or I guess if it did start, it didn't take off the ground all that much. Like you might have half-heartedly started something, but the energy is that this thing quickly dissolved because maybe there was a lack of planning, there was a lack of energy in executing it. Like overall, that card speaks about some kind of setback and some kind of plan or expectation you had not bearing fruit. So again, in the past, there is an energy of disappointment, which seems to still be influencing your outlook. Then the next card that came up, this could be interpreted again both as a strength you have in the situation, or it could be some kind of conscious goal that you have. The Two of Cups energy, like two cards that are like two, can signify something having to do with affiliation with other people, like especially typically the Two of Cups. The cups speak often about relationships in our life. So I feel like that's something you are striving towards and something you have the potential, or the absolute potential to achieve. You might just need a little bit of tweaking of your mental energy in order to get there. Is that you have a desire to heal something in your relationships. Like this is a cooperation card. It basically speaks about you needing the helping hand of somebody else in order to be able to fill your cup as well. And again, it is giving me the sense that this is also something you want to do, but maybe it is this paranoid energy, for instance, of the Nine of Wands that's holding you back. Maybe you are afraid to reach out to this certain person to help you. Like there is just some kind of issue of conflict or disconnection, which is not helping your situation. And it will, like, if you reach out for that cooperation, for that helping hand, if you seek to maybe resolve some kind of conflict you have with another person, because maybe this is a person, if it was one specific person that the card is referring to, maybe you disconnected from them due to some kind of conflict. Now would be the time, and this is also something that I feel like is already in your consciousness, is not something you are hearing for the first time. It is something that you have already thought about. It is a confirmation that you need to reconnect and rebuild some kind of connection in this situation in order to in order to move forward. This will be like a part of the key on your road ahead. And the next card that came up for you, very on theme, continuing basically the same in the future influence, or like the near future, you got the Death card in the reverse. And the Death card is again emphasizing this need for change and for shedding some kind of old skin. And because it is in the reversed position, it is again giving blocked energy and resistance. So you are very much still resistant of all of this, and whatever you do, there is just no other way for you to get out of this situation. Like you will have to let something die, some kind of habit, some kind of belief, maybe even this like this baggage that you are carrying from the past, this mistrust maybe towards other people. Like you, like I said, no matter what you do, you're gonna have to confront it, even if you are resistant right now. Moving on to the other side of the cards, the seventh card, which is the card of like offering you advice and also depicting your attitude in the situation. I would say you are probably feeling really disillusioned right now, because the Nine of Cups card is generally a really happy card. It is the card of feeling that you have achieved some kind of grand peace and victory, and just feeling light and happy with yourself. And because it is in the reversed position, it does speak about some kind of disappointment. Now, I would say that the advice here, although it's always kind of shitty to hear that, like when you are emotionally going through something, even less if you are also in the physical world going through something unpleasant. But the advice of this card is that you need to learn to enjoy the small things in life. I feel like this is something that once combined with the relationship factor, which is, I feel like, the other key in your reading, in the sense of moving forward through this uncomfortable energy and moving into the glow up, to the improved type of energy, working on your relationships and working on focusing on the small details that are bringing you joy in the day-to-day life. This would be like what really makes a difference. It might not seem like it at the start. It might seem like really stupid to focus on, for instance, I found a parking spot right off the bat, when before that, like, I lost my keys and my credit card and like 5 other things that now I have to worry about. But it is, again, I feel like this will be something that will slowly start to lift that mental and energetic blockage and help you move forward. Now the next card that came up for you. The reversed justice card. This card came up in the position of what are the external influences or like your environment in this situation. And I feel like, I mean, again, this could just be depicting your energy of you feeling that something has been going on unfairly and happening unfairly to you. It could be just speaking about that you were hoping for something else and you feel disillusioned and you are asking yourself like, okay, what did I do to deserve this? Like, why did this have to happen? Like, it is a card signifying that you feel the imbalance in your external circumstances. But it is important to remember with the Justice card is also, I mean, yes, life can be just sucky and it is what it is. Again, it could be a reminder that you need to focus on the small things that make you feel good and make you feel happy. But there could also be the advice here is that you might be lacking a bit of accountability in the situation. Because the both sides of this card, it's like she is looking in the water and she is seeing her, I don't know, evil twin. This is what the card makes me think about. Like, this situation that you're finding yourself in is not solely the fault of other people. It's not solely the fault of your environment. And I understand you wanting to seek fairness and restore some kind of justice and balance in your environment. And I'm not saying that you're wrong to want it, because I am sure that there is a part of this situation where you are treated unfairly or you are receiving unfair whatever, like unfair results, unfair treatment from people in your relationships, unfair attention, whatever it may be. But there was something also that you helped in this situation or that you allowed. And it would help you and it would help your mental state and getting out of this stuck energy that needs to break, that needs to die, once you see your own fault as well. And then moving on to the next card, which is the hopes and fears card in your situation. This Six of Pentacles reversed speaks again about some kind of imbalance and injustice. Specifically, I would say it would be something again about relationships. Or I guess if you in your work life are closely cooperating with somebody and splitting the rewards with them, it seems that you have some kind of mistrust that you would be left worse off in the end. So basically that somebody is taking advantage of you, that the material goods that exist are not being given out properly. Again, it speaks about a similar injustice and a lack of fairness and lack of balance, like with the Justice card. It just has to do with the give and take with somebody else. Like you are afraid that there will be some kind of lack of reciprocity in the situation, or that people are not going to be generous enough with you, or on the other hand, that you have to give too much to other people. Now, I feel like a part of the advice here would be, again, maybe not great sounding, the same way that focusing on the small things and being grateful for the small things doesn't sound great. But this is just the type of situation where you have to do it, basically. Like, I'm not saying that you have to be a punching bag for other people or you have to let them take advantage of you. But if you don't give anything from yourself, you are not going to achieve anything. Like, there needs to be some kind of energy put into something in order for it to move forward. And once it starts moving forward, then you can start to worry whether you are putting too much energy and other people are not putting enough, and whether you're being taken advantage of. But you need to take that first step, and then you will fix any bugs and issues that spring up along the way. So don't let this fear of being taken advantage of stop you. Because I feel like once you get that going, like the last card you got in your spread, is the Knight of Swords. And the Knight of Swords is an extremely fast, going and productive energy. And I feel like the end of the rainbow for you, it might be an unpleasant road ahead and it might feel long up till this point. But once you throw to the side all of the other blockages, things will take a really swift turn. There is something about this where you would need to take really decisive action and move forward with determination. And once you move forward with that determination, I feel like the mental clarity will come as well. Like, there is this sort of principle I have heard. It was specifically, astrologically speaking, it had to do something with Neptune and the North Node, maybe, but it might apply to you as well. It is basically that in this realm, in our realm, you first need to understand and then you need to do. But that is not how things function in the universe. In the universe, you first need to do, and then the understanding will come to you later on. The same with meditation and such practices. Like, when you start, you just commit to doing something, and the understanding for it comes later on. And I feel like this will happen with you too. So maybe the breaking point, like the starting point, so to say, of this will be once you, maybe you will carry this energy for a little while, even once you start moving through the energy of the other side. Like, once you start, despite not knowing where this would lead you and despite having fears, once you start trying to rebuild with other people, once you start to, I guess, sort of ignore, quote unquote, your fears of being treated unjustly or not getting the same in return, once you start giving that energy out of yourself without knowing whether the other people will provide the same, I feel like this is going to be the moment where this huge change happens for you. And this is going to be also the moment where some kind of mental clarity comes for you. So you will definitely need to embrace those unpleasant fears, I guess. Like the fears that are telling you, but this and this is not fair, or this and this, like, is not gonna work that way. You need to, despite of them, establish this proactive approach and take on the challenges and like sort of risk it. And like I said, you can then fix and update any bugs that happen along the way, but you just need to get moving. And once you get moving, the energy will develop really fast and the mental clarity for it all will come as well. Okay, pile 3, I hope that this was helpful for you guys.